Welcome to Strangeways TV. I'm DJ Mikey, and this is going to be my top 10 tracks for January 2020. I decided that every month I'm going to highlight my favorite tracks from that period for you all. And before we continue with that countdown, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the little bell icon so that you'll get notified whenever we post new content or breaking news. And now, on to the countdown. Coming in at number 10 is Moi Caprice from Denmark, and this band's been around since 2002, but we haven't really heard much from them for quite a while until they started releasing one-off singles a little bit last year. And this track is called Orpheus, and it's a modern rock track with some pop elements to it, kind of like Keen meets White Lies, and the result is wonderful. Let's take a listen. This is Orpheus.
They never dream about me. They shouldn't be allowed to dream. Now see them gather up, standing in a long line.
Coming in at number 9 is a band called Planet 1999 that was just recommended to me the other day by a friend of the station, Sean. And this is a London three-piece band whose debut EP Devotion will be out in March. And this is a fun, short, bubblegum pop indie-tronica track reminiscent of some of Hachi's more upbeat tracks. This track is called Party. And from Planet 1999, let's take a listen. At number 8 is The Naked and Famous, and I really haven't paid much attention to this band since Youngblood almost 10 years ago, and they have a new album though called Recover that's due out in May, and this is an advanced single called Bury Us, and like the last track, this is a pop gem. Let's have a listen. Coming in at number 7 is the latest from the Courteeners, and their album More Again Forever dropped this month, and it's a solid British rock album. This track is called Better Man, was actually released as a single late last year, but I'm counting it as a January release because of the new album. And this band flies under the radar in the United States, it seems, but I think they deserve some more play. They have a great sound, somewhat reminding me of Stereophonics on this track at least. Let's have a listen to Better Man from the Courteeners.
I'm trying to be a better man, whatever that is. It's slightly disconcerting, no direction, no set plan. I'm trying to be a better man, whatever.
At number 6 is perhaps my favorite modern rock band other than White Lies. The Slow Readers Club have been putting out great tracks for a few years now, and in 2018, You Opened Up My Heart was one of my top tracks of the year. Their new album is called The Joy of the Return, and it's due out in March, along with a European tour. This is the lead single off that album. It's called All I Hear, from the Slow Readers Club. Coming in at number 5 is the Pet Shop Boys. Their album Hot Spot was just released, and Dreamland and Monkey Business are the main singles off that album, and we have featured both of them the last month on our blog. But after hearing the whole album, this track, Happy People, is the track that stood out for me. This is a typical Pet Shop Boys album for me. I don't necessarily love it all the way through, but there's a handful of songs that I do enjoy quite a bit. This one's my favorite so far, Happy People from the Pet Shop Boys.
Everyone comes from somewhere. I leave and you arrive. I watch you on the staircase, taking 2 steps at a time. I wonder if you need me. I think I'm gonna cry. The outside world demands me, and I have to.
At number 4 is new music from the Boomtown Rats, and this is off of their forthcoming album called Citizens of Boomtown, which is a great album title, and it's the band's first album in almost 30 years. And I recently learned a lot about Bob Geldof that I didn't already know from the Michael Hutchence movie Mystify. And so when I saw this new single, I was intrigued. I honestly didn't expect to like it a lot, but I was wrong. I love it, actually. It has an old-school Bowie glam sound to it, and it's appropriately titled Trash Glam Baby. It's a fantastic new song from the Boomtown Rats. Have a listen.
Trash can, baby, it's a trash can world. Choose a glitter bomb, honey, choose a glitter bomb. Dancing by yourself at the Moth Club tonight. Your baby getting burned, dancing too close to the lights. Oh, oh, oh.
At number 3, we have Astari NIte with a new single called Capulet Loves Montague, a post-punk tale of heartbreak that pays homage to one of the most well-known tragic love tales. This was mastered at Jackknife Studio by Jason Corbett from Actors, who is honestly hitting home runs with everything he touches these days. New Division sort of does that in the synth realm, and Jason with Jackknife Sound is doing it in the post-punk, dark wave, hybrid artist sound that is actually becoming my favorite thing to listen to these days. Astari NIte is a band to check out if you aren't familiar. They recently did a cover of Voices Carry from Till Tuesday. Amazing dark take on the 80s hit. So check out their latest single right now from them. This is called Capulet Loves Montague from Astari NIte.
Terrified by what I think of, petrified in love.
You pushed it off inside my heart. You pushed it off inside my heart.
Coming in at number 2, we have the Chromatics, who have been very prolific recently, releasing music that is not Dear Tommy. Just last week, they were in the news with a Closer to Grade Deluxe Edition release that featured 47 songs for $1, and I almost picked the club mix of You're No Good for my countdown. But a few days after the album was released, they went ahead and released this brand new single, which is called Toy, and this has a classic Chromatics sound to it. Have a listen. Toy from Chromatics at number 2. And at number 1, we have Humanist with Dave Gahan and their lead single called The Shot Collar. And Humanist is coming out with a new album featuring guest singers that are going to include Mark Garner from Ride in addition to Dave Gahan. I'm very much looking forward to the whole album. And Dave has actually indicated recently that he's going to be putting out some more Soul Savers material before the end of the year. But in the meantime, we have this to hold us over. And this track is a slobber knocker that I just can't seem to get enough of. I've heard a few diehard Mode fans hate on this a little bit because it doesn't sound like Mode, and to that, I guess I say, so, good is good, and Dave is Dave, and if he wants to sing C is for Cookie, well, that'd be good enough for me. This is my favorite track from January. It's called Shot Collar from Humanist with Dave Gahan.
Beside this crooked line, begin again.
That's going to do it for my top 10 countdown of January 2020. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm DJ Mikey, and I'll see you next month for the top 10 songs of February. Good night, everybody.